A rule in the GRE that people get tripped up on all the time, the fact that you can't divide by a variable unless you know it's not equal to 0. Now keep in mind, the GRE is putting you in very tricky ways to make it so that you don't see that that rule is at play, especially in quant comparison. So I want to go through a super cool problem that tests you on that rule. Let's check it out now. All right, so testing this rule that we were just discussing, here's what we have. If m is greater than 0 and n is equal to m over 100 times m over 100 times n, is quantity A greater than quantity B? All right, now, the rule that's being tested is do you think that you can divide both sides here by n? Because that's the trap. Because the moment you divide both sides by m, you'd be left with m squared over 10,000 is equal to 0, and you'd be able to potentially determine what m is, and if you could do that, you'd know if quantity B is greater than or less than 100. But here's the deal. You cannot divide by n. The reason is, do we know the sign of n? The fact is we don't. We don't know if it's positive, negative. Most importantly, do we know if n is equal to 0? That's really what we need to know. If it is and you divide it by n, you would have created an undefined equation. So here's the best part about this. If you recognize this from the start, you'll realize, oh my gosh, there's nothing I can do to this to simplify it. Therefore, I can't get the value of n. I can't get the value of m, most importantly, and therefore there's no way for me to know if m is greater than 100, or in other words, if quantity B is greater than quantity A. Because of that, you stop and you say the answer has to be D. We were able to do that without very little work and just recognizing a rule. So again, D is the correct answer.